Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Creation Myths. Real quick one right here. This video just popped up in my YouTube feed. This is a video from Dr. Matthew Cherhati, who if I recall correctly, I think he's affiliated with Creation Ministries International. So he's a young Earth creationist, and he does have like some legit scientific credentials. So he's not just one of those creationists who's, talking out of his whatever. He actually does have training in some vaguely relevant field. I forget specifically what it is, but he does actually kind of his credentials are relevant to what he talks about, at least more so than most professional young earth creationists. Anyway, I'm bringing this video to your attention because this is a great example of creationists making an argument that accidentally refutes creationism. And the thing that we see from Cherhati here is he is talking about the baraminology of viruses. So baraminology, for those of you who don't know, is the creationist study of created kinds and trying to find the lines between those created kinds. Now, I have long tried to convince young earth creationists that this is actually a really easy question. Basically, what you need to do is find unconstrained regions of the genome, basically regions that do not seem to be under the effects of purifying selection, and determine where the boundary lines of nested hierarchical patterns of similarity are in those regions. Within created kinds, you're going to find a nested hierarchy, but once you extend the comparison across various created kinds, that nested hierarchy will break down. Boom, there's your boundaries between created kinds. It's actually a very easy question to answer, and the reason young earth creationists have not answered that question yet is because when you do that analysis, all of cellular life is a single created kind, which obviously is not permissible in the young earth creationist model. Anyway, I bring this video to your attention because Dr. Cherhati is applying that kind of analysis to viruses, not quite doing the thing I'm saying young earth creationists should do, but doing like genomic analysis of viruses to try to determine the bounds of created kinds. And like, hey, that's like close enough to what I think young earth creationists should be doing. That great. The thing is, when you try to do that analysis with viruses, what you're going to find is basically that it works. That you're going to find some groups of viruses are going to have the expected pattern of nested hierarchical similarity. And when you extend beyond those groups to compare across multiple groups or across very widely divergent or diverse viruses, you're going to find that that pattern breaks down and it actually doesn't exist at the higher levels. And the reason for this is very simple, is that viruses are polyphyletic, which is to say that there are multiple independent origins of viruses. There is not one single origin for viruses from which all other viruses, all the living viruses, are descended. Viruses, very clearly to me, as an evolutionary biologist with a specialty in virology, viruses very clearly to me have multiple independent origins. And it's interesting that a creationist might look at viruses and try to say, hey, is this one kind? Is this many kinds? And I think the inevitable conclusion is that there are many kinds. And the criteria you would use to make that determination, if applied to cellular life, would lead to the conclusion that cellular life is a single created kind, which is to say that all cellular organisms share common ancestry. Now, going back to this video just for a second, Dr. Cherhati does kind of an interesting thing where he says viruses don't form baramins the way cellular organisms do. And yeah, he's like walking right up to the line of acknowledging that cellular life looks like it has universal common ancestry and viruses don't. But the fact of the matter is, one of the ways we can be very confident in the universal common ancestry of cellular life is that we have this other example. We have viruses, and we can look at those and very clearly see that they don't share universal common ancestry. So very briefly, I want to explain this to everybody. So viruses have completely, across all of the diversity of viruses, have non-overlapping sets of genes. There are different groups of viruses that have literally 0 genes in common. There is no detectable homology, which is to say similarity due to common ancestry, among the genes of various groups of viruses. We also see viruses that use a completely different genomic architecture, which is the physical form that the genome takes. So viruses can be double-stranded DNA, they can be single-stranded DNA, they can be double-stranded RNA, they can be positive sense single-stranded RNA, they can be negative sense single-stranded RNA. Positive sense single-stranded RNA means the genome itself can be used as messenger RNA. Negative sense means you have to make a complement and then express the genes from the complement. You can also have retrotranscribing viruses, which is the retroviruses, and there's some other ones that are retrotranscribing, but not technically retroviruses. It's weird. And so that's where you have an RNA genome that then is converted through retrotranscription or reverse transcription back into DNA. And then from the DNA, you do genome replication, integration into the host genome, and transcription. Right? So the fact that you have these different genomic architectures is one of the major hints that, hey, those different groups don't have a single evolutionary origin. Whereas in contrast, all of cellular life uses double-stranded DNA for its genome, does transcription, and then translation. It's all the same in that regard. So my big point here is this. I love it when creationists, young Earth creationists, try to do like real analysis of viruses, right? If a young Earth creationist is trying to delineate the created kinds among viruses, power to you. And I want you to apply that same methodology to cellular life, because let me tell you, my friends, if you apply that methodology to viruses and you get multiple kinds, you can do the same thing to cellular life and you will get a single created kind, providing very strong evidence within the young Earth paradigm of universal common ancestry of cellular life. And that is why I wanted to bring this video to everyone's attention, because to his credit, Dr. Cherhati is doing a really interesting thing here. And if you go one step further and apply that same logic and those same criteria to cellular life, you are going to find that cellular life makes up a single baramin, a single created kind, which is to say you are going to find strong support for universal common ancestry. Thank you for watching. Please remember to hit the like button or the dislike button. I don't care. Either one. Just hit one of the buttons. Leave a comment. Subscribe to this channel if you're not already subscribed. Share this video. And also consider becoming a channel member so that you can get immediate access to pre-recorded videos. As always, thanks again for watching, and don't get fooled.